guys, we're going to be installing the radiator today. Of course, I sent out the measurements for the radiator. Everything fits great. However, the mounting tabs for the electric fan is what's causing the problem. It's always a struggle. So this is the setup we got. Radiator fits fine, but these tabs that are coming out about, 1.5 inches, they're hitting where they're supposed to be going. Remove this. So I marked basically the part of where I have to cut. As you can see, I have to cut off quite a bit. So on the radiator side, I'm gonna make these cuts so the radiator will fit into this slot here, because this is where the tabs were hitting. The tabs were hitting on this little channel. I don't really want to butcher all this up, because this is also where, the side hood skirt thing mounts and the top hood and everything. If I cut this up, things are gonna get weird, so I don't wanna do that. So I'd rather fit it to the car. So let's first cut these tabs, drop in the radiator, and then I'll have to fabricate a bracket for the electric fans. Let's go. Okay, so we got these tabs trimmed. And I also trimmed the bottom plate because this was out pretty far. So I want to make it a little more easier of an install. So I trimmed this off and notched the front, both sides. So let's see how this fits. It's pretty good, nice and snug. Okay, I did have a slight concern about the height because there is that nose piece, which I have here. I want to test fit this. 2 holes there for the mounting, go right into there. So if you just placed it in there, I am going to have to trim that panel. We are good. It's going to fit really good. That was my only little concern, or else I'd have to modify to sit the radiator, have the radiator sit a little lower. Good, so we'll keep on trucking. We got the tops mounted again, fan mounted. We cut off this tab here, shorten this, and then I set up a way to mount it like that, which is nice and secure on both sides. Came out good. So now let's fit this radiator back in one more time. Okay, radiator is fit with the fan. We'll hook up the tranny cooler lines down there. I got a radiator hose kit, so we'll make the water hose connections from the top to the neck, and then the lower to the pump, and then this water cooling system is done. Let's get it. Got the trans lines hooked up to the transmission. Got them routed here, nice and clean. And they are now connected to the trans cooler that's incorporated in the radiator. Picked up this cool little universal kit that we're gonna try to piece together to make these lines work for the 37. So let's get it. All mounted up, turnbuckles, brackets tightened and wired. We got the power steering bracket on, set up, pretty good. So now I removed the crank pulley. As you see down there, there's no crank pulley because we needed a long water pump crank pulley because we converted this over from short to long. So of course the crank pulley was for short. So once we get that one on, all the pulleys will line up. And then we can throw some belts on here. Motor's just about ready to fire up. We just need to wire up the water pump and throw the fluids in, and we should be good to go. We got the lower hose in. Still need to work on the upper hose, and then we could start throwing some water and coolant in this. Let's get this fan wired up.
thermal switch. You can see it right there. So this fan is set to kick on at 180 and turn off at 165. It looks pretty good. So now the only thing left is we have to run the main power wire, which is, you can see the end of it's right there. We got to run that to the battery, and this sucker is done. More parts finally showed up. We got the shifter kit that's here from Lokar. Really awesome shifter. Comes with, got all the hardware with it. This is going to be a transmission case mount shifter. I left the tunnel open purposely so we could access the top of the transmission. Bracketry will go right to the case. Should be an easy install. And of course we got another box of insulation. We still got this gap here to close out, and then we're gonna do like the inner fender wells and stuff like that. And then inside the doors as well. Let's get this shifter installed. This shifter is installed. Works pretty good. Everything's all mounted right to the transmission housing. Fairly easy install. So now the only thing we have to do now is connect the rod from here to the shifter right there, the little linkage right there. There's the rod. So now let's get this on the transmission. Okay, as you can see, the rod with the heim joints are installed. You can see it right there. And it works like a chime here. Goes through all the gears. Nothing's hitting. The rod clears the transmission case and the body here, no problem. So, shifter's done.
Well, getting closer with the wiring job.
You got power, hit the turn signals, indicators working. Hey, look at that. Left turn signal, right turn signal. We're looking good. And yes, hit the brakes, brake lights turn on as well. You can probably see the reflection when I hit the brakes. Hit. Brake lights, working. Little by little, all the ugly in this car is going away. Everything is getting clean. Both sides of the trunk and quarters are all insulated. Insulation job is about 90% done. We just got to hit the doors and the little rocker kicker panels in the front there, and that is it. So the electrical is about 90% done. Just got to do the front end stuff, which I'm going to wait until the motor is all situated. Motor for startup, insanely close. I have fuel systems done, wiring is done, ignition is done. We just need some belts for the alternator and power steering. Don't really need that, just to give it a test fire. There's just a few more things I want to get done, and also we want to get the steering linkage done. Those things are going to be on the next video, so you're not going to want to miss. This is costing me very much.